Welcome to Worth Your Time with your hosts from the nationally syndicated Bob and Tom Show, Kristi Lee, and the president and CEO of the Indianapolis Zoo, Dr. Rob Shumaker. Our mission to inform, entertain, and educate with guests from all aspects of life. We guarantee there isn't another podcast that features two hosts with such different backgrounds and discussions with remarkable people doing exceptional things. So let's get started. Here are your hosts, Kristi Lee and Dr. Rob Shumaker.
Kristi Lee, it's good to see you.
Nice to see you, Dr. Rob Shumaker, and welcome again to Worth Your Time. Can you believe it has been 1 year since we started this little venture?
That's the deal. Happy anniversary.
Thanks, you too.
So
this has lasted longer than most of my marriages.
So one thing I don't think we've really told people, we have this kind of spoken. We have a spoken rule.
Yes.
That when we show up to do an episode, we don't talk about anything ahead of time.
No, we don't.
We don't talk to our guests ahead of time. We talk to you and I don't talk ahead of time. So we should let people know that, so we can do that now. So here's the thing that I found really interesting. You know, I am kind of obsessed with our metrics.
Yes, I know.
I get a little obsessed.
Around 10 o'clock at night when I'm trying to sleep, I know you're obsessed.
Because I'm texting you.
Yes, when I'm trying to sleep, but that's okay. You
always answer, so that's good. So I was amazed to find out we are being downloaded in 25 different countries.
What?
25 countries.
That's amazing.
Which is basically all the countries. So
that's because you know all the people.
Not close to all the countries.
You know a lot of people.
So no surprise, the U.S. is our biggest. Mm-hmm. Do you want to guess our second biggest? Now, this is since we started.
Okay.
Individual episodes vary, but our second?
Thinking of you, who would it be? South America.
It is not. The U.K. They love us in Great Britain.
Wow.
It's big.
I'll be there in September if anybody wants to stop over and say hi.
There you go.
I don't know where I'm going to be, but I'll let you know.
Canada's big. Germany's big. Australia's big. Lots of European countries. So here's what surprised me. Denmark.
Yeah.
Iceland. Netherlands. Sweden. This one, I don't know why, really surprised me. Jamaica.
I appreciate and love each and every one of you.
We
and
love the Jamaicans.
I want to go to all those countries.
Me too.
You've probably been to them all.
Not all of them. Not all 25. My favorite, because I've never been there,
is
Kazakhstan.
Oh.
We've got people downloading us in Kazakhstan.
That's cool. I don't even know where that is. Anybody? Do you know where that is?
Huh? Next year.
I'll look at my map and find out. But thank you for listening.
We love all you people internationally. They're downloading us. Thank you, Kazakhstan, Jamaica,
That
Peru,
is incredible.
All of you. So, thought you might like to know that we are.
I'm glad you shared that with me. Now, see, you can wake me up for stuff like that.
And I just did. So we are in. So lots of good news to share for year number 1.
Yeah, I can't wait for year number 2.
I didn't. Now we're underway. Year number 2.
We are.
So I did not get you anything for our anniversary.
That's okay. I didn't get you anything either.
Yes, you did. What? You got us a phenomenal guest today.
Oh, I did.
This is a big one.
Not only are we kicking off our second year, we're kicking off his tour with this podcast, which is so exciting.
It's fantastic.
And our guest is comedian Sam Miller. Sam, welcome. Thank you for being here.
It's good to be here.
All 6'6", 300 plus pounds of you.
Yeah, 360, 6'6", 360. That's the stat line.
Are you really 360?
Yeah. You know, I started doing cardio and I do interval training. So I go uphill and like my waist got a little bit smaller, but my legs got bigger. Yeah.
You're 3 of me. You realize?
Yeah.
You're.
It looks like it too. I gave you a hug earlier, and
Yeah.
It was like getting hugged by 3 people to you.
Sam, you and I met not too long ago, probably about a year ago, maybe.
I think it might have been more than that since I was on Bob and Tom the first time, I think.
Well, it was a pleasure, and you made quite an impact.
Thank you.
On not only all of us, but the listeners as well. You're a favorite guest now of the Bob and Tom Show, and we are so excited to have you on the podcast.
So nice.
Yeah,
of
it's
you.
good to be here. Yeah, I was excited. I like animals and stuff.
Yeah, we were
That's-
talking about that. He's a zoo fan.
I love hearing that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll try and hook you up while you're in town. That's for sure.
Not only am I a zoo fan, that fits into my I need something to do.
Uh-huh.
It's like it's a zoos, museums, world's largest oyster.
Wow, where's that?
Where is
Raymond, they think. But
Where-
I bet there's a bigger one.
Where-
Raymond,
where's
Washington.
Where's
Oh, okay.
Raymond?
Wait, no, South Bend, Washington. Oh man, South Bend, Washington would have got really mad at me if I would have said Raymond had the biggest.
Now, you
oyster.
are from the state of Washington.
Indeed.
Yes. And you have quite an interesting background.
Yeah, I was a criminal.
I wasn't going to jump there.
Yeah.
I was going to say you were kind of an army brat or military child, and then
Yep.
you maybe got involved with some drugs, maybe, and maybe you were homeless.
Oh,
and
I
maybe
got all that stuff. Yeah.
But go ahead.
Can I ask you a question about this? So this is one thing we did talk just a little bit about when we knew we were going to be on the show. So this is the first time I've met you.
Yeah.
Super excited.
Yeah.
Know you very well from online and listening. But I realized I was actually feeling a little self-conscious because there's a lot of things to talk about that I normally would not ask people.
Oh, I'm pretty much an open book. I don't worry about it too much.
You're okay
I
with
know
it.
who I am, and I'm doing the best that I can as a human being on this planet right now. And yeah,
So
I'm
it's all
okay.
good.
Yeah, you can ask me whatever you want,
Okay,
and
good.
I'll-
Thank you.
You know, if I don't like a question, I'll just make something up.
Okay, that's fine.
Fair enough. Fair
that
enough.
works too.
Yeah,
that works
yeah.
too.
But you did have a drug problem.
Mhm.
Talk about those years a little bit.
Oof. Yeah, I don't know.
Started as a teenager?
Yeah, it was earlier, really. So even before my dad passed away when I was 12, and that was like fast forward on whatever issues I had. And I mean, I remember huffing stuff, and I was like 9 or 10, and then dad passed away. I think 13, started drinking, and alcohol was always around. There's actually a picture of my brother giving me beer. I was like drinking a beer when I was like 5 or 6 or something.
Brother's older than you, I
Yeah,
assume?
yeah,
Okay.
and he's in recovery now too. He's doing really good. He's
Oh, good.
actually a big role model for me. Not back then when he was giving me beer as a 5-year-old, but
Yeah, I can
we
see
laugh
that.
about that stuff now. But yeah, it's just it's every decision I ever made sense to me, and that's what it was. It was like 1,000 little decisions, and then one day I found myself in a terrible place, and so I did all the drugs. I never did PCP. I would have. I just couldn't find it. But I did. Yeah, I pretty much did everything and took it about as far as you can take it. The last year, so 2007, I'd been working for the Forest Service. I was a wildland firefighter in north central Washington, which is where I learned a lot about animals fighting
Wow.
fire. I saw a lot of
Wow.
weird animals. And that was the worst. I got fired from the Forest Service. I was living, I don't think I've ever talked about this, but I was living like at a puppy mill. They were breeding Yorkshire Terriers.
Wow.
They
Oh.
did the best they can with the dogs, but they were too close together and not taking great care of them.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was in a terrible place. And then went back to Olympia and tried to get sober at my mom's house. It didn't work. Wound up homeless again. And then woke up in front of the Capitol Theater June 10th, 2008.
That was your
And,
bottom?
Yeah. I guess it was. I thought I had hit a bottom going to jail as much as I did, but that wasn't, I guess, it can always get worse. And I guess as long as I take good care of myself, I hope I never have to find another bottom, but I do. I work hard on my recovery almost every single day. I
What
try
was your
not
drug
to.
of choice?
Methamphetamines towards the end. That's the one that stands out because that's the one that caused the most issues. But really my biggest issue was alcohol.
Mm.
Because I could not do meth, but if I was drinking, then I had to. It was like a ladder, sort of. It's like if I'm getting on a ladder, I'm going to the top.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I guess I'm the only one who laughed at that.
Well,
But
I've
yeah, I
never
don't
done
know.
meth, so I don't know. I can't relate
Yeah.
to that.
I don't know. It's just, I think if I could explain those years, and this is something I say a lot, is that the way people look at addiction sometimes is kind of wrong, because for me, it was never about getting high or drunk. It was about not being sober. I wasn't running towards a high. I was running away from a feeling. And that feeling was fear. Like, I was scared of my dad until I was 12. I loved my dad, but he was kind of a maniac. And then when my dad died, I was scared of everything else. And drugs and alcohol worked very well to alleviate that fear, until the effects of those substances started like causing more problems than they were solving. And at that point too, it was so hard to stop. It's like you can't see yourself with it or without it. It's like the jumping off point, you know? So yeah, it was bad.
So how did you take that first step?
Well, I woke up in front of that theater that day and something snapped in my head. And, you know, I can't go too much into details here,
Right.
but I got involved with a support group and have been involved with that same support group for a very long time.
Great.
And I'm still very involved with it. And, you know, with the help of my community, I was able to start taking accountability, and start changing as a human being. I finally got a therapist that I work well with. I burnt through 3 therapists pretty quick. And yeah,
Because you didn't like them, or they?
Well, part of the issue, so after I got sober, I was a chemical dependency counselor for a while. I don't know if you know about that. Yeah, I was a chemical
I
dependency
read about
counselor.
it. I didn't.
Yeah. So I worked with other drug addicts for a while. And sometimes when you're a counselor and you get a counselor and you're just kind of like, oh, I see what you're trying to do. That ain't gonna work. But yeah, and you know what's funny is that my new therapist, so I think the first time I was on Bob and Tom a couple years ago, and that getting involved with my new therapist has really helped me. Obviously, personally, it's helped my marriage. It's helped me as a father, and it's helped my comedy career a lot, because I'm better at like letting stuff go.
Wow.
You got to let a lot go.
Do you let a lot go through laughter, through your jokes?
Oh yeah. And also just that kind of like, I don't know. I want to call it like my aw shucks attitude. Like, I've taken so many like, because, you know, I made a lot of bad decisions and I faced the consequences of those decisions. I've had some rough luck too, you know, just my genes. So every male in my family on my dad's side deals with like alcoholism addiction. My dad dealt with it, my brother. And on my mom's side too, there was some issues. I mean, on my mom, my mom's side too, there was some issues. I don't know what I was talking about. And you know, being born, I don't know, at a certain time and in a certain place. Like, I grew up in like rural Pierce County, and like we actually had like a decent house and like kind of middle class, but in like a really rough neighborhood, sort of. Like, I was surrounded by like problems. And man, when you're looking for trouble, and you know, it's easy to find, especially in Spanaway, Washington.
Where is Spanaway, Washington?
It's outside of Tacoma.
Okay.
Which is outside of Seattle.
Beautiful area, though.
Yeah, it is. You can see the mountain
and
stare at it and then watch it turn colors. Yeah, and then talk to it. Hey, mountain.
Does it talk back?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
That whispers. You got to listen real close, Kristi.
I bet.
So can you help me understand it? When you were a kid, when you 12, 14, whenever, you were finding drugs at that point, or just alcohol?
Alcohol was around.
Just people gave it to you? Was that?
It was around the house.
Okay.
I'd be at parties. I'd find it. And then, so at like 12 or 13, geez, you know, at that point too was like junior high. And, you know, it started with weed, you know. It's funny because there's people are so funny with weed now and marijuana and cannabis and stuff, because they're like, it's not a gateway drug. And I'm like, it can be. I don't know. People are, it's like, I always want to say, like, it's like, you know, I think the DEA is full of nonsense, but I think Snoop Dogg's kind of full of nonsense too. Like it will like people have issues with it, and I had issues with it.
So you don't believe in California sober is what you're saying?
No, I do. It's just that's just not something I can do.
Yeah.
So I think we should look at drugs and substances like as a personal issue, you know, like I can't smoke pot because it makes me want to drink. And then if I drink, I use methamphetamines. But I have beautiful, wonderful people in my life that use cannabis and have no issues at all. In fact,
Gotcha.
it helps them. They like it. And for some people, it's like but what other people and how they use substances ain't got nothing to do with me.
That's true.
Like, I don't even have a problem with alcohol. Honestly, I do comedy. I've had people do coke in front of me, and I don't care. I usually don't want to be in the room when that's going down just because I'm worried about the cops and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't say nothing. I just do my thing. I'm just moving along there, but, you know, doing my thing.
How important do you think your career, your choice of a career, has played in your sobriety, though?
Oh, man, it was dangerous. That's such a good question. I don't think anybody's ever asked me that. Not like that. The first time, so my community, like the folks that helped me get sober, they're the ones that told me to do stand-up comedy. I did not want to be a stand-up comedian. I fell into it. I like being the center of attention, don't get me wrong, and I like being funny.
Uh-huh.
But I never thought stand-up, you know. I always thought I'd be a wrestler, like an ice dancer or something. Or a wrestling ice dancer.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be sick.
Can you ice skate?
I'll work on it.
Okay. I'm sorry. We digress.
The first time I did an open mic, my first thought, I did well. And the first thought I had when I got off stage was, I'm going to lose my marriage over this, because stand-up comedy snapped in my head the same way drugs snapped in my head. And, but it was rough a little bit. You know what happened is I lost some friendships. I lost some important people to me to chase stand-up, and it still makes me sad.
Really?
You know? Yeah.
Why did you lose them?
Because my deal was like, I need to be as best of a parent as I can be. I need to be as best of a husband I can be, and I need to do as much stand-up as I can without losing my family. And that's what I did.
That's a balancing act right
and
there.
I'm working full time, you know.
Yeah.
I've been doing comedy. It'll be 11 years in June, and I've been doing it full time for over 3. And
you are very funny.
oh, thank you.
You're
Yeah,
very
I
funny.
work hard at it. And thank God, because I can't imagine how hard this career would be if I wasn't funny.
Yeah, it would be. Well, I can tell you, I could show you some comedians.
I know some of them.
I know. I bet you
It's a tough.
do. Yeah, I've seen them.
It's a hard world out there.
Yeah, it's hard.
But yeah, to answer your question though, it's like it really hurt it, but now it's become like so much of who I am, and it's like so much of who I am is my recovery, my family, and it's strange. Like, you know, when you're playing with Play-Doh as a kid and you're like, I got my green, I got my yellow, I got my blue, and you're like, I'm going to make a green dinosaur and I'll make a yellow fish and a blue bunny. I don't know why the bunny's blue.
Ice cream.
And you're like, these are the things. And then you know what? It'd be kind of cool if the bunny had a yellow nose. And then that Play-Doh gets a little bit less blue. And then you're like, oh, I'll give him like a green butt or something. And it just gradually, and you try to keep them separate, but eventually you get this big brown lump. And that's what I am.
A big brown lump? What year did you get married?
Oh, geez. I've been married 13 years.
So she's been a part of this, or was this after recovery or during?
Okay, so I
or-
got sober in 2008.
Okay.
I got married in 2012 or 2011. I started doing comedy in 2014.
Okay. I guess my question was, did she know you when you were using?
No.
Okay. So she met the sober Sam Miller.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I wouldn't have a chance with my wife if I was still drinking. So, because every relationship I had was like a month and a half, because that's how long it took them ladies to figure out that it wasn't a phase. Wasn't having a rough couple of weeks. I'm having a rough life. You want to come with me? No, man,
Where'd you meet her?
At the bar that I worked at.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the amazing thing to me. When you were dealing with all this, one of your careers was being a bartender.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
mostly a bouncer. I was an awful bartender.
But you're a hell of a bouncer, though.
I was a great bouncer.
I bet.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was an awful bartender. I didn't know how to make any drinks. And people would be like, I want an old fashioned. I'd be like, I want a rum and coke. Those are good.
You have the most amazing career history, and you got to help me with the timeline. You were an assistant preschool teacher.
Yeah.
That's when you were.
You did some research.
God, I hope you were sober then.
Oh, yeah.
You were.
Yes, of
I
course
was.
he was.
I was still dangerous, but I was sober.
You were not dangerous.
A little bit dangerous. I'm always a little dangerous. No.
And I'm sure the kids loved you.
I bet they did.
Yeah. So when I got sober in 2008, I had 3 jobs for a while. I was working at a warehouse, I was a bouncer, and I was working at a preschool.
Aww.
It was crazy. I was trying to get back on my feet. I really burnt it down. And I was so obsessed. And also I would work side jobs for this lady, Sue, who's still a huge part of my life. And just bought her car actually from her old car. I have a nice car now. It's nice. Yeah. She gave me a slamming deal, otherwise I wouldn't be able to afford it. But I had 3 jobs, working side jobs, just trying to make it. Met my wife, still homeless for the first 4 months of my recovery. I'd stay at my mom's house sometimes. I'd go over there and take showers and eat, but I was living on a porch. I was living on couches because it takes a while,
Sure.
But I was trying. And another thing, honestly, I probably didn't have to do that. I could have asked for help. But I was proud, I was like, oh, I'm going to do it myself.
But it's an amazing story.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
But you're a success.
It's going okay. Yeah.
I mean, I know people that are sober that can't work one job and
It's
get off
hard.
their ass.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like
hard.
you work hard and
Yeah.
and it's obviously working.
Yeah. And I'm going to get emotional when I say this, is that when you say that I'm a success, I want to point out that the reason I'm such a success is because I have so many beautiful people in my life. I'm making a middle-class income doing comedy, which is nice because I can calm down a little bit. But the coolest thing is how many people that I'm surrounded by that I absolutely love in different arenas. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I've been introduced since I started doing comedy, because this is what people don't think. It's like, oh, you're doing drugs. And I did some wild stuff, especially eating acid and cocaine.
What was the wildest thing you ever did?
Oh, I got a story for you. I was thinking
bet.
about this the other day because
Okay.
it cracks me up.
You're just a lovable guy, man. I just want to hug you.
But you know what I'm saying though, is that I feel like one day I woke up and somebody let me into the world. It's like my world was getting smaller and smaller and my options were getting fewer and fewer. And then it was so hard, my first year sober, and I'll talk about it. So when I was 4 months sober and 11 months sober, I thought about ending my life. It was such a struggle because I'm not getting high. Why aren't things getting better? And it's just, that's it. It just takes time,
Mhm.
You have to feel those feelings and have those thoughts. And I remember, I was like, okay, so I'm going to pay taxes now, or I'm going to kiss a girl sober. Because I never even kissed a girl sober. I never did any of it. I was always high and drunk.
Wow.
Man.
Um,
Was your wife the first girl you kissed sober?
no, when I first got sober, I was a bit of a playa. I had a few
Good for you.
illicit encounters.
I like how he says playa.
It was wild, man. I was in it. There was a girl left the thing on Craigslist for me, a missed connections on Craigslist.
Really?
Yeah, and I went to her house and we tried to get down in a hot tub, but that is not. I don't know if you've ever tried to get down in a hot tub, but that is terrible. Because I was like, is this sweat or water? Or is this, what fluid are we dealing with? It was awful.
Oh,
And then
my.
check this out. I'm not going to get too, keep it clean.
Okay.
But I got my back stuck in one of the hot tub intakes. And so I had these big, crazy hickeys on my back because I'm so
It's like
big.
cupping to the nth
And
degree.
she was big too. She looked like Carmen Sandiego. She was wearing a trench coat. I was really into her. She had red high heels. She was cool. And the hat. It was neat. But that story I was going to tell you.
The wild one on acid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it's so weird. And it's obviously, you know what? I don't even care. Sometimes I tell these stories and I'm like, I know this doesn't sound like it's true, but it is. There was a time I was at the Okanagan Barter Fair, okay, which is this hippie festival in the mountains in Washington State, outside of this town called Tenasket, which is a weird kind of libertarian sort of there's hippies. There's a lot of lesbians that live there. It's neither here nor there. But I'm at Barter Fair. I was still working for the Forest Service. I didn't want anybody to know it was me that was at Barter Fair because I knew I was going to party hard. And so I had a full body coveralls and a motorcycle helmet with a black visor.
Wow.
And I was walking around and I was drunk and I did a lot of coke and then I ate acid. And I was really, and I had I just got a mix perfect. And I was really on one. And I was so excited to see people because I was so high and really feeling myself that what I would do is every time I saw somebody I recognized, I'd flip up the visor and be like, it's me, Sam, don't tell anybody. but everybody knew I'm 6 foot 6 and I'm just wandering around high on acid. And but this is where it gets weird. I don't know how I did it. Well, I know how I did it. I blacked out drunk while I was on coke and acid. And I woke up and I was on this hillside. And the sun was coming up, right? And I'm just laying there and I got my visor and I get up and I'm holding this rock, right? And I look over and there's this other big rock next to me. And I realize that I have both of my pockets are full of walnuts. And what I've been doing is smashing walnuts on this rock, right? And then I look up and there's a horse and I'm scared of horses. Right?
Okay.
And so and the horse is waiting for more walnuts. So I guess I was blacked out drunk, made friends with a horse and was up on a hillside feeding him walnuts. And I'm looking down at the festival. And honestly, when I woke up, I was like, man, I'm kind of this is pretty badass. That was crazy.
That's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
You have a story like that, Rob?
Well, amazingly, no, I do not. But I'm just getting the mental image of that, which is fantastic.
Right.
Oh, it was such a beautiful morning.
And I'm
I
sure the
bet.
sun was beautiful going up. And
Yeah. And it was nice because the visor on that helmet,
I thought you were going to say you woke up and thought you were on the moon.
No.
Like an astronaut.
feeding a horse walnuts.
That's
Yeah.
cool. I didn't know horses ate walnuts either.
I
didn't know that.
You know what I think, though, is I think horses can just eat walnuts. I don't think I had to shell them for them. I was probably wasting time. Those big teeth, right? Probably eat them shells and all.
Well, you made a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you did.
dude.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
for real. And actually, after that, I was a lot better with horses.
There you go.
I
See?
still don't like to ride them. I feel like I'm so big that a horse is just going to be really I feel like fat shamed by horses. When they,
You're okay on a Clydesdale.
You need a
probably.
draft.
That
horse,
would
that's
be
all.
draft horse.
You need a
yeah,
draft
if I had a homie horse that was
Right.
built like me and we
Mhm.
could go.
There are.
Yeah, that
Sure
would be
there are.
awesome. Or even another animal. I don't know.
What would
a
you like
big
to ride?
thing. Depends on what's on the table.
Talk to the zoo guy. I haven't got any control over that.
Oh, a draft
Yeah.
horse.
We're going to take a break. Can you stick around for another episode?
Indeed.
Oh, great.
Good man.
Yeah, we are talking with Sam Miller, and this is Worth Your Time with Dr. Rob Shumaker and Kristi Lee. We'll come back with the episode 2.
You've been listening to Worth Your Time with Dr. Rob Shumaker and Kristi Lee. If you like what you hear, please give a review wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to tell your friends. Word of mouth is the best compliment. Thanks to our producers, Chris Spangle of Leaders and Legends, LLC. You can reach him at leadersandlegends.net. Also, thanks to Sophie Ritz. I'm Christopher Geisen. Thanks for joining us.